Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
That covers that. Now we are left with our one integration type, which is Workday Studio. I will just show you how Workday Studio looks. Right, and we will see this. Let me close all this stuff. Have you guys worked on by any chance on Eclipse? Yes. Have you seen it? Right, it is like that. Let me do one thing here. It looks like an informatic actor, right? First time when once you download Workday Studio and all that. For downloading it, you need that exe file which is around 500 MB or you get it on the Workday community and all that. But again, my disclaimer is whatever I'm telling you about Workday Studio, just listen in and keep that in your mind. You don't have to go into any details of it as of now unless you are fine with all other types of integrations, right? Starting from custom reports, calculated fields, core connectors, package connectors, EIBs, document transformation and all that. You have to first expertise that you are fluent in that and you know how the things work. That is the foundation. Once you're clear with it, then you can jump into this one and it's a separate training altogether again for 2 weeks, something like that, right? And it's the most complex type of integration that Workday has because it is all about right from scratch. You have to do it. Nothing is there. You have to build your own logic, you're designing. And similarly, if you have one requirement, if you give it to 5 people, everyone is doing Studio. The build will be different for all of them, right? Because it's about different components that you have to use. Someone will use some component. Other will do the same functionality using another component. That's how it is. Now, if you see, once you open Workday Studio, you install it. It opens up like this. Forget about this green thing. Everything will be blank once you have. You have the Project Explorer on this side, right? This one which I'm scrolling. This is my local. All the projects which you see here is something that I have created and is stored on my laptop. That's why it is Project Explorer. I create my own project and each project here is one integration. That's what an integration is. Then you have Cloud Explorer, which helps you in connecting with the cloud. As the name says, cloud, it helps you in connecting with the cloud, meaning setting up connection with your tenant. This is Cloud Explorer, Sandbox Production, whatever your development instance and all those stuff. Right? This is Cloud Explorer. And whenever you are developing something in your project. Explorer say you have created a new integration. Now you want to put it in the tenant. We call it. The term is deploy. You have to deploy your code. to the cloud, and you would do it via Cloud Explorer. And then this is outline. Of note, it is just a mini version of what you see in this main screen here. It's just the mini version here. Close it. And you can drag and drop like Cloud Explorer. I can drag it and put it here. That's similar functionality here. And then you have this screen in the middle one. First we'll go to the right one, which is Schema Explorer. It helps you in exploring Workday web services. Right? You saw that there was a link open source. There you have different Workday web services. You do request and response and all that stuff. This Schema Explorer helps you in testing that. It's very important from a testing Workday web services perspective. You can also drag it and bring it down. Then is this process details. Not used much clipboard histories. Whatever you do, Control C, you can see it will come up here and it saves all. If you have to copy paste, just right click, copy and again use it in the course. It is just that. You can use your previously copied code and all that stuff. Keep it here and use it. And then this in the middle part is something where you do your integrations. Right? And whatever you see here, these components which are connected via arrows are called components. And these components are available here in this part, which is called palette. Right? These are all both day delivered components. You cannot create your own component, right? Whatever is available here, you have to just kind of drag and drop and then connect it with the other components and the functionality. The flow is as per these arrows. Clifa. It is just an introduction here. What is what? Main thing is, now I'll tell you how to approach right this thing. Now we will do it in more details. One more session on this one. But if you are say trying for interviews and all those stuff, right? In that you will clearly say that, yes, I have worked in Workday. I know other types of integrations. Studio is something which I have not got a chance to work on, but I understand. I can debug and I can, understandable the Studio integration, but if given a chance, I would explore and will be able to do it. That's how your wording will be clearly saying that I have not worked on it, but I know different parts, different things in Studio. That's it. And then because getting expertise on this tool comes with experience. The more integrations you build, the more experience you will get. It's similar to that, like Afshal in the beginning, when you were using application designer, right? You have to create this application engine, right? It's similar to that. It's everybody will have its own. Someone will use some step, right? Do while do when do, if everyone will use on their own, right? No one will create a similar kind of stuff. Same is here. It comes with experience. You know what works best. And then once you have all the projects, then you can copy paste components from one to another. Right? And then if you have to create a new project here, right? A new integration. You click on File, New and Workday Assembly Project. Once you click on that, you have to give a name. Let me say it underscore, test your seat and next. This is the name and finish. Now it is creating a new workspace, a new integration. Now it will be all blank. If you see, it's a complete white screen. Now I have to do whatever as per the functionality I have to do. This is my integration. And by default, a studio integration, when you deploy, it is a kind of a file, like a kind of an archive file, which is having the extension as .car. We call it as a cloud. Cloud archive is the name. It is a combination of different stuff. Whatever you do here, it will have different properties, code likes, SLT, and all those stuff. All of that is combined into one file and it gets deployed in the tenant, which is called a cloud archive. For that, creating an integration like Afshar, you have an application engine. What is the first component? First step in application engine. Main right. You cannot have an application engine without a main step. Right. For a studio integration, the first component will always be Workday in. Right. When you drag and drop it, it says start here. It is similar like Java. Like we have, first we should have the main program and then write. That's how it is. Start here. You can change the name right. Begin whatever you want to give. You can do here. This is one component. And then you right click show property view. And then these every component will have some properties which you will have to set. Like, for example, in the advanced tab, you have the integration system name. Right. Our project name is int underscore test underscore pussy. Right. If you see, the project name is int underscore test underscore POC. But here in the properties, we have the integration system name. Here, whatever thing we will give will become the name of the integration. Say in this one, we don't have underscore. Right. And you can just save it and it will become the name of the integration. After that, we can have different components and each component is kind of different. We will have, say, let's see a put integration message. Put integration message is a component which helps in displaying the message on the integration once it completes. Right. You have seen, right, our integration in Workday has different statuses. It either fails or completed with errors, or successfully completed. Right. Or warnings and all that stuff. In Studio, because everything is custom, we can have our own message here, right? In the put integration message properties. Property view. If you see the severity, it says info. You can have here either error, info is completed. Error is completed with errors. And then you have warning, which is completed with warning. And then critical is something which says fail. And you will say, how will we know? In Workday Studio. Every component has this help. Right. In the properties, if you click on this help, it opens a text. Workday will tell you what that all that things are. Right. In here, in the advanced tab, you have severity here, right? Is message severity. That is our thing here. It says specify the message. You can either have critical debug, info warning, automatically populates with info. By default, it is info. But you can make it critical. Info, we don't use. All that. Let's say we make it as info. Info is just completed successfully. The summary, whatever message you want to give, will be here. Integration completed. That's it. And to deploy this to the tenant, we have to click on this part here, right? Don't save. You have to select the tenant, right? First of all, to connect. To make the connection with the tenant, you have to make sure in the Cloud Explorer, you have your, click here, and you have your, whatever your tenant name is, you test the connection by giving the credentials, and it says hold, applying clove. Now you are connected to the tenant. Now you are connected to the tenant. Here you have a button which is of deploy, right? You can now click on here, deploy to Workday. Don't save all that. Select the tenant, click on next. Only make sure that project is here. We have created this in test. Click on finish. You will see that kind of deployed. It will give a pop-up, which is right now showing me on my other screen, but it will show a small pop-up that it is there. Now if I go to my tenant and say in, you see the name doesn't have the underscore, right? And if you open it, you have this cloud collection, right? Studio project, and it has the underscore. And all the studio integration will have the integration template as cloud integration template. This is how you identify whether it is a CLR. It's a studio integration, and this is the, and you click on here, you see this is the CR file, which is the cloud archive. It has all the details of what this integration. You can even download the CLR, and it gets downloaded, and you can import it in your tenant. For example, I've created this. Now I want to delete it. From my Project Explorer, you click on right click and delete from workspace. Click on, and it will delete it. And it will move away from here. I want to import it again. You just do a right click, and then you just browse the place where you have downloaded. I'll import it from my downloaded one, and then it will again get imported in my stuff here. That's how you kind of import. You can directly do it by downloading that file. This is how it is. I delete it, but now I have imported it again. It came again. This is just the basic of how it is. If I run it, right, let me open it. It has nothing there, right? It has start here and then the message. If I launch it, it will complete in a second or 3 seconds, and it will give the message which I displayed there. What was our message? Message in integration completed. If you see here, now the message integration completed. That's how it is. If you want to change it, I want what that it should complete with warning and set integration completed, right? Warning. Right. If you have done any changes, then again you will have to first deploy it. I'm seeing the scripts are similar to Java, only the things that dragon, right, everything is it's built on the same clip, the back end. That's what I'm saying, the deploy. Holder structure, right? Exactly. I have deployed it. If I launch it, it should. Instead of completed, it has to be completed with warning, the message you want to display. If you see here, now it says integration completed, but with warning. We were also seeing the messages that was auto-populated, right? Like when we. That is all done by Workday. Workday will take care of all that, but here, it's all custom. Whatever you want, all the log files and all that stuff is something that you will have to write. This was just the basic. What I want you, from a studio perspective, this project explorer is your properties tab, which is important when you drag and drop and all that. It'll happen. How do you deploy? Connect. All that stuff. We will do a little more. Cool then. Thank you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.